Hello and welcome to another video from the Motivational Podcast Show. My name is Cameron Young and I'm your host this evening, and we're going to be talking everything about how to set goals. Yes, what is a goal, how to set a goal, what goals to do, and how I've used goals in all my businesses to get where I've become. So, let's do it. So today we're going to talk about goals and how to begin. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story and how I used goals to get there. I was a full-time magician up until lockdown number 1 in Scotland, which was March 2020. And as of today, which is the 5th or 4th of January 2021, we've hit lockdown again. So, how did I use goals to get on Britain's Got Talent, to have a sellout year of shows, how to lose 6 stone in body fat, and how did I use goals to get there? So, the way I started was, I thought about the final goal. And then I worked my way back and put in many, and I mean many small mini goals every day, week, month, and over the whole course for the main goal. So let's talk about when I lost 6 stone in body fat, or body weight should I say. My original goal was to get from 18 stone down to 12 stone, which is what I achieved. So at 18 stone, my goal was to be at 12 stone, which meant I had to lose 6 stone in weight. So that was the main goal, but I knew if that was the only goal I had in place, I would struggle. I would not have been able to do that. So I decided that when I was at that 18 stone mark, I would work my way back. So at that moment in time, my first goal to achieve was to lose 6 pounds. My goal was to do it in as fast a time as possible, but healthy at the same time. So I thought that would be a perfect 2-week mark. But not only that, I wanted to run my first 5k. So I put both of these goals together, and already I had 3 goals. I wanted to lose 6 stone, but I wanted to lose 6 pounds, which was obviously a big chunk of the first stone. And not only that, I wanted to be able to run a 5k. I wasn't bothered about the time I would hit it in, but I had to hit that 5k. So I moved on to my next goals. So then I thought, well, if I'm aiming to do that within the first 2 weeks, I want to be also training every single day for a minimum of 1 hour. And not only that, my goal for the first month was to guarantee that I would only eat no more than 1,800 calories, and I would also drink 5 litres of water a day. So that was about 6 goals there and then, and that was just in the first month, which helped me massively, because every single time I achieved one goal, I would set another. So when I hit the first 5k, then I wanted to get a sub 30, then I wanted to get a sub 28, and then a sub 26 minute 5k. When I got to the 1,800 calories, I realised I'd like to drop a little bit more, so I went down to 1,700 calories. But I would do that in small doses. Every week I'd maybe drop 50 calories off. Or I would want to burn 50 more calories in the gym or while I was out running. These were the little goals that eventually managed to get me to go from March 2019 to March 2020 and lose over 6 stone in body weight. Now let's move on to another one, Britain's Got Talent. I was on Britain's Got Talent in 2020, but that was a 5-year process. It started off with me wanting to be on Britain's Got Talent more than anything, so I had to work out how I had to get there. So first of all, I auditioned. I pressed the audition button, and first year I didn't get in. So on the second year, I thought I would audition again. And then after that, I realised, and this is when this process started coming in. So the year I got on Britain's Got Talent, I realised the way to get in and the way to skip the queue would be to find out who the head producers are, the people that were producing the show, find them on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and message them. So I found myself messaging about 20 different people that worked on the show. And eventually I found out one of them was going to be in Edinburgh, which was only about a 30-minute drive from my house. And I could go and meet them and do my audition for them. This was like a practice to see if I was good enough. So I sent the girl a couple of videos of myself, and then I went to meet her. But before that, I made more goals. My goal was to spend as much time as possible with her, do my most powerful trick first for her, and also to make her freak out. over a magic trick. Now, bearing in mind, these guys see magicians on a day-to-day basis, which meant I had to learn new magic, which meant I also had to learn new tricks and put new implementations in place to learn these tricks. I also had to think which ones would work in an audition format, and I also had to design an audition for being on Britain's Got Talent. So there was about 8 different goals there. I had to obviously plan out every single step of the way. And as I said, one of the goals was to spend as much time with the person as possible. Now that worked out really well because every single person got 10 to 15 minutes. 45 minutes later, I left that room. And that guaranteed my audition in February. So it just shows if you can actually think back, and I think this is how movie creators do it. Say, for example, they're creating the next James Bond. They go to the very end and they think, right, we want to get this person to commit murder. So we're going to try and create this murder process using the movie ideas that they've got and work their way back. Rather than just saying, oh, James Bond kills this person, they would go, right, he dies in a frozen lake. Right, how do they get to the frozen lake? Well, when they get to the frozen lake, they went in James Bond's car, but it was different because it wasn't James Bond driving it, it was his new assistant. But his new assistant picked James Bond up because he fell off a train. Lots of things like that go along in the movie making process also. So all I'm trying to say is goals is a massive thing in life, but I've talked about how I use goals. There's ways that you can use goals as well. For example, if you are day-to-day life and you're looking at making goals in your day-to-day life, it could be, first of all, you wake up in the morning and you want to get up 10 minutes earlier so you can have a cup of coffee before you go to work. So that is a really good goal to have, so you can get up, have your coffee and be in a better mood for going to work. I tried that for that year, so I would get up an hour earlier, I would have breakfast. If I was having breakfast before I would train, I would have a coffee or a cup of tea, I would be refreshed, I would have a shower and I would be ready to go to my training session. At that point I was already had that 45 minutes between the shower and when I was having my coffee. That 45 minutes when I was sitting downstairs, I could be sitting on my laptop doing more work, listening to a podcast, listening to a motivational video, and just getting myself motivated for the day. But that 1 hour managed to help me do that before anyone else in the household was awake. Then what I wanted to do was I wanted to make sure that every single day I would be training in the gym as soon as I dropped my fiancée off at work. So I would drop her off at work, I would head straight to the gym. Every single day, and that was my goal. But knowing that I'd already had my fuel, I'd already had my coffee, I'd already done the drop-off I had to do, but I was an hour better off myself, I could do that. I would always have little achievements to hit in the gym, so that could be something you could do as well. But say, for example, yours is your day-to-day life, like an average person would be going to work. You've got a 9 to 5 job, let's presume it's that person. So you've got up an hour earlier, you've had your coffee, but then you want to get to work earlier to impress the boss. So that hour that you've been up earlier means you can get to work earlier. When you're at work, you want to hit a few more sales. But sometimes, if the best salesman's hitting 20 more sales a month than you just aim for 1 extra sale a day. And that all adds up to a lot more than the 20, especially in percentage-wise. Now, when you're getting home and you want to spend more time with the kids, maybe it's you want to have more time to do some work for yourself. Or maybe you want to have lots of goals in place for, maybe you want to start your own business, or maybe you want to try a new sport. Now, during lockdown, it's quite a hard thing to do, but let's base it on you want to start a new business. Sometimes it's best to have a goal. So if you put 7 goals in place in a week, day 1, you want to come up with a name for the business. Day 2, you want to have a logo in place. Day 3, you want to have a video made. Day 4, you want to start working on the website and start designing it before you create. Day 5, you're actually learning how to make a website. Day 6, you start implementing the website. And day 7, you have the website built to a standard structure. And not only that, you've managed to chat to customers and make a Facebook page. So that's 7 goals. But if you say to yourself, I want to have this business and I want to try my best to work on my business, then it's never going to work just like that. The reason why it won't just work like that is because you're not planning it out. And a lot of people just like jumping into things, and I've always liked to jump into things. I don't always plan every single day, every single second of my life, but if you've got a plan and a structure, and if you know you're hitting the targets every single day, you're guaranteed to do what you wanted to do in that week. And if you had more time, you could do more than that in the week. But if you put these goals in and you're disappointed in yourself for not hitting them the day before, the next day you'll be more inclined to do 2 things. So for example, if on day 2 you struggle to make the logo, on day 3 you'll start working on the website, but not only that, you'll be working on the logo. I know that probably is a lot, and not everybody is wanting to start a business, but not everybody is also wanting to go to the gym every day. Sometimes it genuinely is just about a lifestyle experience. So that's the way I set my goals, and it's a way, I'm not saying you should set your goals, but it's always nice to be thinking about goals and thinking how you can achieve them. If you have a goal every single day for 30 days, if you hit every single one of them, at the end of the month you've hit 30 goals, but if you've not set any goals, how do you know how many you've hit? It's a nice way to keep track, and not only that means you're going to be hitting targets, hitting guidelines, and hitting things in life. They always also say that it takes 21 days, 3 weeks to be a consistency. So I always try to get people to create goals for a month. So by the end of the month, if they've been hitting their goals every week, they're more inclined to try and get into goals for the following month. So for the first 3 weeks, that is just a standard practice, and it's getting you used to setting goals. If you go to the gym, it usually takes 3 weeks before it becomes a routine, before it becomes something you just expect yourself to do. That's why when they say in January it usually lasts 2 to 3 weeks of diet, or it maybe lasts just shy of February, that's because people are only giving it the 2 to 3 weeks, maybe even 4 weeks before they're deciding to fail. This is why if you keep it consistently, it'll become part of your routine, part of your lifestyle, and goals will just become part of you. So this is a short podcast talking about goals, how you can make goals change your life. I did that with the magic shows when my goal was to hit over 100 shows in my second year, which I did, or I managed to try and get on Britain's Got Talent, or to lose 6 stone in body fat. That was all down to setting goals. I hope that managed to help you out a little bit, and as always, this podcast is sponsored. It's sponsored by motivationalclothing.com. That's www.motivationalclothing.com. They sell amazing gym wear, and you should probably go and check it out. So my name's Cami. I run the Motivational Podcast Show. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, make sure you subscribe, make sure you follow, and make sure you see us in the next podcast. Speak to you all soon.